Hello everybody, welcome back to our CMA classes. So let's resume and complete this chapter, computation of trust, and we are going to do two questions. Okay? One very basic question, and second the question is going to be based on accreted income. Okay, and that was a question which actually come in our past previous year question papers. Okay, so let's go for it, guys. Okay, so question: computation of total income and tax liability of public charitable trust. Charitable Trust registered under section 12 AB. Okay, so this trust is already registered under section 12 AB. Following cash system of accounting furnish you the following information. So the trust is going for cash accounting system. Okay, and here the following information which consists of gross receipt from hospital by the name of full cure, and the gross receipt is what? 400 lakh. Gross receipt from the college by name India Art College is 180 lakh, offering recognized degree course, and the corpus donation by way of check. Please note that here the modes are done in check and cash. Okay, donation is made in check and cash. So whether it's going to affect the donation, how we are going to take the criteria, how we are going to compute it, I'll tell you. Whether it's made in check or cash, we are going to do the same treatment for both. Okay, now the question comes to you is, we are talking about corpus donation, right? Corpus donation is going to be exempt, remember, only if it is deposit in which mode? Specify mode. Okay, under section which? 11 subsection 5. If as per section 11 section 11 and subsection 5, if the amount is deposited in specified way, in that case the corpus donation is going to be exempt, otherwise taxable. Okay, fully, whether the amount donation is made in check or cash. Okay, so let's go and check out whether this is invested in 11.5. so they are invested in section 11. Oh, they are not invested in section 11 subsection 5 mode. Okay, so this is not going to be exempt, this fully amount is going to be taxable. Okay, now here comes about the anonymous donation. Remember the treatment of anonymous donation. The total we are going to compute on which amount? The total amount, total donation. Remember, on total donation what we are going to take? The corpus amount, yes, whether it is cash or check. So these amount is going to be added, right? Let me take another color. This one is for anonymous donation. Okay, this one and this one, yellow part wala. Okay, so we are having total donation of 35 lakh plus 10 lakh. So we are having the total donation of 45 lakh in this question. Hope so this is clear. Okay, now let's go for the other part, which is administrative expenses for hospital. 22 to 20 lakh, 2 lakh 20, okay, 220 lakh, okay, and 100 lakh. Okay, these are the administrative expenses. Now here comes the another point, which is saying fees not released from patient, 20 lakh 60,000, and from student also the fees is not released. Okay, so what is going to happen? First of all, the administrative expenses is going to be treated as what? The applied amount. Okay, we can take it as in the applied amount, but can you tell me what is going to be for this fees which is not realized from patient and student, as the firm is following which system? The cash system, right? Let me go back here. What is the cash? The trust following the cash system. The cash accounting is followed here in the question. So as the trust is following the cash system, in that case the amount which is not realized from the patient will not given. Okay, which means this will not be included in the applied amount. Okay, so the deduction is not going to be given in this case for fees which is not realized from patient, or whether it is patient or student. So this amount for this applied amount is not going to be included. Okay, for in these ठीक है, दिस पार्ट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी अप्लाइड, ठीक है. लेट्स गो फॉर द अदर पॉइंट ऑफ 7th. okay, depreciation on the asset is 18 lakh. okay, now I will tell you one more thing ki 18 lakh was the depreciation amount. What if the trust have already taken as cost of asset? If it is taken as cost of asset, in that case depreciation is not going to be allowed, right? Either cost of full asset, entire cost of asset, or depreciation under section 11 subsection 6 is going to be allowed as deduction, ठीक है, as applied amount, ठीक है. So let's continue now. The depreciation on the asset of trust is 18 lakh, right? The entire cost of asset is 300 lakh, which is claimed earlier years, which have already claimed as application in the earlier year, which means now we are not going to take it, ठीक है, as it is already taken the 300 lakh of cost of asset. So this part again not going to be included, okay, as the application amount. So next point, here comes the other point, ठीक है, you have to please focus here. The acquired a building, a trust acquired a building of कितना 120 lakh, 120 lakh, ठीक है, on 1st 6 2022 for the expansion of hospital. Now we also have cost of land which is of what, 100 lakh, and we are also having the stamp duty value. So now question is which part we are going to take, whether we are going to take the difference between SDV and cost as per section 5610, or we are going to do some other treatment, okay. So this part is new, we have to find out in this, okay. Now the last point of this section says the trust gave donation of 25 lakh, ठीक है, 25 lakh. Let me take another color bacha, which is red. Let's take red, okay. So the trust gave donation of how much amount, 25 lakh to the Gandhiji Free Trust having the object of charitable nature registered under 12 AB. So the trust have given, let me write here, the trust have given the donation to the other trust who is actually registered under 12 AB. ठीक है, this is another point. So we have to find out, we are going to take it in applied income, applied amount or not, okay. So what I said, this amount was donated, right, to a trust who is Gandhiji wala trust, we can say Gandhiji wala trust, ठीक. Donation was of 25 lakh, okay, but not similar to the object of donor trust. So the objective is not same as A trust was having, ठीक है. B trust is of Gandhiji trust, A trust is of अपना ये वाला, which is Marti charitable trust, okay. So this part, the donation, the objective is not similar, so we have to find out whether this would be included in the applied amount or not. So let's go for it, guys. We are going to take the gross receipt, ठीक है, second gross receipt from the hospital and the college, ठीक है. We have no confusion here, ठीक है, and well about the corpus donation we are not having the confusion here also, ठीक है. So up to this part everything. So hope so guys, up to this part everything is clear, right? We know about the gross receipt, okay. We are going to take the gross receipt from the hospital, college and corpus donation. There is no confusion, right? We are going to take the whole corpus donation because it's not invested as per section 11.5, okay, the specified mode which is actually written in section 11.5, okay. So up to this everything is clear. Let's go for and check out the gross receipt of 400 lakh, right, gross receipt of 180 lakh, right, and the corpus donation of 35 lakh, okay. Let's go for the working note which is written, the corpus donation whether received by way of check or cash include in the total income of trust seem the same or not invested in 11 subsection 5, which means we are going to take this part whether it's going to be check or in cash form, ठीक है, cash mode or check mode we are going to take it, ठीक है, because it is not invested in the mode which is specified in section 11.5, ठीक है ना. Yes, let's go for the other part guys. Now it comes to anonymous donation. Please take out your calculator with me guys first of all. Okay, so we are having the anonymous donation of what? 10 lakh. And what was the total donation? 35 lakh plus 10 lakh. 10 lakh was of anonymous donation and 35 was of corpus donation. ठीक है, these are the donation with us. ठीक है, so this is the total donation, right? So we are going to take the corpus anonymous donation which are going to be included in the trust while calculating the total interest, and they're going to be two parts. First was this one, ठीक है. Second part is going to be that amount which is going to be taxable at the rate of 30%, ठीक है, under section 115 BBC. So let's go for it guys. Tax on anonymous donation under section 115 BBC. We have anonymous donation of 10 lakh. This is clear, ठीक है. We have to deduct, ठीक है, we have to deduct higher of the following two. So 5 lakh, 5% of total donation received, 5% of total donation received. Total donation was of कितना? 45 lakh, ठीक है. So let's take 45 lakh का 5%, that is 225,000, 2,25,000, ठीक है. कितना? 2,25,000. So this part is clear ना. Second part is B, which is saying 1 lakh. ठीक है, we have to deduct this higher among these two. First 5% of total donation received, which is कितना? 2,25,000. Second is कितना? 1 lakh, ठीक है, whichever is higher among them, which is definitely 2,25%, which is a 5% of total amount, total donation received, right? ठीक है, so 2,25,000 is going to be deduct from कितना? 10 lakh, the total anonymous donation. From total anonymous donation we are going to deduct this, ठीक है, 2,25,000. So on this amount, on 7,75,000, right, on 7,75,000 it's going to be taxable at the rate of 30% under section 115 BBC. Please remember the section, okay, section 115 BBC, ठीक है. Anonymous donation is going to be taxable at the rate of 30%, ठीक है, on which this part, this amount, ठीक है. So what about the 2,25,000 guys? This amount would be added back. Where? Let's go and check out, ठीक है. So here 2,25,000, remember the deduction amount, whichever is higher among them, that is going to be deducted from that total amount of anonymous donation, ठीक है. So that deducted amount is going to be added back here, 2,25,000, ठीक. So let's add back and find out, ठीक है. So we have this amount, ठीक है, 61725,000 is the amount. Okay, we know that from this amount there is 15% standard deduction. We have 15% standard deduction. So let's find out what is the standard deduction here, ठीक है. Standard deduction is going to be 15%. So 15%, 92,58,750 would be deducted. Okay, then the remaining 85% is 524,66,250. 524,66,250. From this definitely what we are going to get the deduction applied amount wala, right? So let's go for the other part. Hope so up to this was clear, right? We have taken the gross receipt from the hospital, charitable institution, take corpus donation, ठीक है, because it was not invested in that specified mode under section which was still in section 11.5, ठीक है. And another was the anonymous donation of 225,000, ठीक है, 225, ठीक है, पर क्यों? And the remaining, what about the remaining? Remaining would be added back, and at that 30% would be deductible, ठीक है. So before taking the deduction of 15%, we have to add back this anonymous donation, ठीक है. Please remember this point. So you have to tell me about the applied amount now, ठीक है. Now we are going for the applied amount. So let's go for it guys. Administrative expenses for the hospital is going to be 220 lakh, ठीक है, 220 lakh, and for the college is going to be 100 lakh. Definitely these two are going to be get right as the, yes, applied amount. So what about the fees not received from the patient? No, we are not going to take this part. And what about the depreciation? Definitely we are not going to take this part, ठीक है. So let's deduct 220 lakh, ठीक है, and 100, Okay, hope so you get my point, right? So what about this point? Now let's go for the 8 point. 8 point is saying that they acquired a building for 120 lakh, okay, and cost of asset was 100 lakh and stamp duty was 140. Now you have to tell me which amount we are going to take. Are we going to take the SDV or the cost, or whichever is higher among them? Are we going to take 140 lakh? No, in this case we are going to take 120 lakh. So let's find out why we are going to take 120 lakh. Okay, so for hospital, right, we have taken the administrative expenses. These are revenue expenditure. Okay, and about land is definitely a capital expenditure. Now you have to tell me one more thing, whether we are going to get that deduction, get that amount applied for this, means revenue wala we have taken, right? What about this land? First question was, we are going to take this or not as a deduction, right, as a applied amount. Yes, whether it is revenue expenditure and whether it is capital expenditure, as I told you in explanation, right, we are going to take this part. Okay, now the question comes like, we have to take 120 or 140 or what? Okay, so we are going to take 120 lakh, but why so? Okay, let's go for the working note. Working note is saying the provision of section 56(2) clause 8 is not attracted in respect of value of property received by a trust or institution registered under 12 Hence, the difference between stamp duty value and consideration paid for the acquisition of immovable property shall not be chargeable, as section 52 is not going to apply here in this case. So we are going to take the cost. Which cost? This wala part, the cost which we have acquired, which means 120 lakh. Okay, so this is going to be our applied amount, right? So we have taken. So what about the depreciation? Can we take? No, because the trust have already taken, okay, as the application amount on which the fully cost of asset. Okay, so this part is not allowed. Okay, so donation to the trust, as I told you, trust A have donated 25 lakh, right? How much amount? 25 lakh. So trust B is not having the same object. Trust B is not having the same object. So can you tell me we are going to get that deduction? Yes, as the section they are registered in which section? The Gandhiji Trust is registered under section 12 AB. So the trust A is going to get the deduction under which applied amount. Okay, so this amount 25 lakh would be taken. Okay, so we have 59,66,250, okay, which is 59,66,250. Hope so you are telling with me. Okay, so this is the total income. Okay, but we have taken the gross amount, okay, corpus amount and the anonymous donation, okay, which we have deducted from that part. Okay, or whichever we have, whichever the high, it was higher, 1 lakh or the amount 5% of the total donation, right? In this case it was 5%. Okay, sometimes it might be 1 lakh. Okay, so we are going to add back that amount. Okay, na? So what about the remaining part which is going to be taxable by the rate of 30% is going to be added here. Look here. Okay, so the donation, anonymous donation is going to be taxable at the rate of 30% under section 115 BBC, which is 775,000 would be added back here. Okay, now we are having the total income of the trust is going to be 6741,250. 6741,250. Okay, now how we are going to compute it? Okay, so for this part and this part, okay, this is going to be flat taxable at the rate of 30%. So what about this part? 59,66,250, 59,66,250 is going to be taxable at the normal tax provision. Normal tax provision is going to be taxable on that basis. Okay, so for this, let's take out 59. Let me do it here. 59,66,250 pay. Let's take out the tax liability. It's going to be 16,02,375. It's going to be 16,02,375. Okay, so what about the anonymous donation? Tax on anonymous donation is going to be 30%, right? So we have 2,32,500. ठीक है, let's take out the total amount of tax payable 1,834,837. Okay, now the total amount, total income was more than 50 lakh. It was more than 50 lakh. In that case, we have to take the surcharge. We have to add the surcharge of kitna 10% if it exceeding more than 50 lakh. ठीक है, so it's 67,41,250. Okay, in that we have to add the surcharge, right? So from this also we have the amount of 2,018,363. Okay, in this again we are going to add back what? HEC of 4%. Okay, right, so 2,018,363 ka 4%, yes, 2,018,363. so we have 2,099,100. let's take the round off. ठीक है, so hope so you get my point. Once we have taken the total income of trust, we have computed the total income of trust, what we have to go for? We have to go for the tax liability, right? For this part, other than anonymous donation, we are going to be taxable that amount on normal tax provision, right? But for the anonymous donation, it's going to be taxable at the rate of 30%, right? What if the total amount was not more than 50 lakh? In that case, definitely surcharge is not going to be added back. ठीक है, but in this case, at the total income of trust was exceeding more than 50 lakhs, so we have added here the 10% surcharge. Hope so this point was clear. ठीक है, from and later we have added 4% HEC. So we have tax liability of 20,99,100 rupees. So hope so guys this was cleared. ठीक है, now we have one term which is tax on accreted income. Section would be 115 TD, not D, it's going to be TD. Okay, so what is now accreted income? Let's find out, and later on we have to solve one question with it. ठीक है, accreted income of any fund or institution or trust or any university of other education institution, hospital or other medical institution. So we are going to take definitely every trust, ठीक है, which is going to be under this chapter, right? Which is going to be whether university, educational institution, hospital, medical institution, or which is referred under section 10 subsection 23 clause 4, 5, 6, 6A, or the trust institution registered under 12AA or 12AB. ठीक है, whether it's medical institution, trust, religious purpose, university, education, and 10 subsection 23 subsection clause वाले, ठीक है, और 12AA or 12AB. ठीक है, so for these section, these trust we are going to take. ठीक है, so they are here in after referred as specified portion going to be taxable at MMR rate. As we know that MMR rate, what is MMR rate? ठीक है, but in this case we are going to take a different MMR case. ठीक है, a different MMR rate. So let me continue right now. Where in any previous year trust or institution registered under 12 has. ठीक है, now let's find out when it's going to be taxable at the rate of MMR. ठीक है, when it's going to be known as accreted income. ठीक है, when these trust, the fund, the institution, the trust which is actually registered on 12AA, 12AB और 1023 clause 4, 5, 6, 6A. ठीक है, मेडिकल इंस्टीट्यूशन, ये सारे एजुकेशन सारे. ठीक है, सो if they have converted into form which is not eligible for grant the registration. So if these trust, let me write here, trust, university, right, education institution, hospital, okay, or other medical institution, okay, which is under section 1023, okay, or trust or institution which is registered under 12AA or 12AB. Okay, so these are the things. If these trusts have actually converted into another trust, and those trusts are not, they have actually converted into those trusts who is not registered under section 12AB or who is not eligible to grant for grant of registration under section 12AB, ठीक है, or not approved under section 1023C. Okay, for these medical institution के लिए again they want to merge in some other medical institution, those who are not registered under 1023. Okay, so for the trust, okay, for 12AB AA, they have not, they are going to be merged in some any other trust who have not taken the registration or who are not eligible to take the registration under section 12AB. Okay, hope so this point was clear. Okay, or second point is going to be merge. First of all, as I told you, merge, okay, or converted, okay, same point. So merge with any entity other than the entity which is trust having objective similar to it and registered under section 12AB or approved under 1023C. So this point is saying that they have merged with any other entity which is having object similar to it, okay, and which is registered under 12AB and approved section this. These are also saying the same thing, but they are not going to be registered on this part. Okay. Again, fail to transfer upon the resolution of asset to another specified person within period of 12 months from the end of month in which dissolution take place. So after dissolution take place, within 12 months they have failed to transfer the dissolution of its asset to a specified person. Okay. If any of these three things, the condition are following any of these three things, okay, in that case the trust is going to be taxable the rate of MMR. Okay. So those who are going to be specified person deemed to be have converted into any form not eligible for registration approval in a previous year, if the register granted to is 12A or 12AB or approved to this has been cancelled, has adopted or undertaken modification which do not form condition under this and has not applied for the fresh registration, okay, or applied for the fresh registration, but the said application is rejected. Okay. So what happens, either they have the registration which is granted or cancelled, okay, or what happens, once they have done the modification and they have applied for application, either they have not applied for the application or once they have applied for application, the application was rejected. Okay. Tax on accreted income payable even if no income tax is payable by the specified person, even though tax on accreted income would be payable. Okay. So time limit for payment of tax is going to be 14 days from the above event, as the case may be. No credit is admissible on tax so paid on accreted income. So let's find out how we are going to take the MMR, on which part we are going to take the MMR, what is going to be the rate here. Okay. Aggregate market value of total asset being specified rate is going to be less. Okay. Sorry, total liability would be less from aggregated market value of asset. Okay. Let me write here, aggregate market value of total asset. Okay. We have to less what, the total liability accordance with the prescribed method of valuation. Then we'll have accreted income. So we have no ज़्यादा सा ज़्यादा ताम झाम here. It's very simple, okay, but with one question will identify what are the things which is going to be included here. Okay, so the rate is going to be 34.944%. How? 30% is going to be tax rate, 12% surcharge, 4% HEC. Okay, whether the amount is more than 50 lakh or not, surcharge is going to be 12% beta. Okay, so 12% is going to be surcharge here, 4% is going to be HEC here. Okay, so let's find out what are the things which you have to keep in our mind. Aggregate market value of total asset on date of merger is going to be calculated for land being an immovable property. Okay, we are going to take the fair market value or SDB, whichever is higher for the land which is being an immovable property, either fair market value or SDB, whichever is higher, right? We are going to take it. For quoted equity shares, average of lowest and highest price on date of merger. So average of lowest price, let me write clearly now. Okay. So for this equity share, we are going to take the average of what, the lowest price plus the highest price. Okay, we are going to take the average of this part. ठीक है. What about the preference share? We are having the preference share. We are going to take the fair market value if it is sold in open market on the date of merger. ठीक है. So what about the liability? Liability apart from reserve and surplus, provision of taxation and all. ठीक है. We are not going to take those things in the liability for this part. For calculation of accreted income, we are not going to take the provision of taxation, ठीक है, reserve and surplus and all. So what else is we are having, we'll take it. ठीक है. So note, outside liability, corpus fund and provision of taxation is not going to be included. Let's go for one question. Remember, just remember few things. From that total asset, what is going to be deducted? Total liability, right? For computation of land, which is immovable property, SDV or fair market value, whichever is higher, we are going to take among them. ठीक है. For the quoted equity share, what is going to be the average, lowest price, highest price, average of these two. ठीक है. What about the preference share? Fair market value if it is sold. ठीक है. If it is sold in open market on date of merger. ठीक है. So there is one condition. ठीक है. So we are going to take fair market value. So let's go for one question, guys. Let's be very quick. Okay. GVM Charitable Trust engaged in activities running a charitable hospital medical since 8 years has merged with the corporate hospital. What I told you, if they have merged, ठीक है, converted, right, and they have not followed the following condition, in that case the total income, the accreted income would be taxable at the rate of MMR. MMR का कितना %? Let's go and check it back. 30, 12, 4, right? It's going to be 34.944. 30, 12, 4. Okay. So that's going to be taxable at the rate of, yes guys. So let's go back. Okay. So the trust is converted into the hospital, right, on what, and it is not eligible for the registration under section 12 guys. So yes, definitely ये कौन सा वाला section, accreted income वाला, yes, 115 TD, right? Okay, let's go for the position of asset and liability of charitable trust as on the date of merger. Okay, property and liability, shares and security held by acquired out of agriculture income. So guys, tell me, agriculture income is going to be taxable here? No, na. Yes, it's not going to be, we are not going to take this part. So what about the book value of quoted shares and securities? Okay, as this is the market value, which is average of lowest and highest price of the share. ठीक है, we are going to take this part. We are going to take this part. Okay, we have book value of land. ठीक है, which is एक second guys, which is 60. Which is 60 lakh. Value of immovable property, this is fair market value. Okay, this is fair market value, which is 40 lakh here, and we also have stamp duty value, which is 38. So come back. ठीक है, I'll tell you one thing. If in case of land, which is immovable property, right, what I told you, are we going to take the book value? No, we have no option. ठीक है, we are going for fair market value or SDV, whichever is higher guys, whichever is higher. So we are going to take the 40 lakh here. Okay, so what about the, let's come back, let me say it again. ठीक है, for the case for the agriculture income, we are not going to take that agriculture income because it's going to be exempt. ठीक है, book value of the quoted price, this is book value. ठीक है, and this is the market value, that is average. ठीक है, this is actually equity values. ठीक है, equity shares value. So definitely we are going to take the average, right? So this would be part, right? So we have taken this part, book value of equity shares, ठीक है, which is going to be the average. Okay, and book value of land and building, which is going to be this 40 lakh. ठीक है, let's go for the other part guys. Okay, let me tell you this part later, but let's go for the final thing. ठीक है, let's not make it that complicated. We have liabilities with us, which is going to be 8 lakh. ठीक है, liability in respect of shares and security, which is unlisted. Okay, and bank liability in respect of quoted shares and security, which is again 15 lakh. ठीक है, so can you tell me advance tax is going to be included? And no. So this part is not going to be here. ठीक है, so this was super clear, right? We have taken 40 equity share वाला point. ठीक है, average, and 40 which is going to be value of immovable property. This is super clear. Let's go for one more point. Okay, this is main point. ठीक है, this is also the part of the asset. So let's go for it. Let me take the another color. Okay guys, the trust hold 40% of the equity share in unlisted company and the financial position of unlisted company as on the date of merger is, so the trust is holding how much share? 40%. 40% of what? Equity share. Okay, let me write here 40% of equity share. Okay, so among these value we are only going to take how much? 40%. Remember this. Okay, so let's go for the things which is mentioned here. Book value of asset which is other than immovable property. Are we going to take this? Yes. Okay, we are going to take this. Okay, what about the immovable property? Yes, market value of immovable property is here. So are we going to take it? Yes. 45 lakh of full amount we are going to take it. Okay, रुको सर आप, ठीक है. What about the reserve and surplus? No. What about the provision of taxation? No. What about the total equity pay share capital? No. ठीक है, let's go back. ठीक है, now we are going for the computation of what? The solution. We are going for the solution here. ठीक है, so we are going to be almost there, guys. So do we have to take the agriculture income? नहीं ना, that is exempt under section 10 subsection 1. ठीक है. What about the land? Yes, land कौन सा वाला? Because it's immovable property. Fair market value SDV, whichever is higher. So let me write SDV of fair market value, right? Whichever is higher, which is 40 lakh. Quoted shares and securities. कौन सा वाला? Average of what? The lower and the higher. ठीक है, which is 40, which is actually mentioned in the question. Okay, and what about this part? Equity shares. Book value of 40% वाला. Remember, let me go back. ये वाला part. D part, with the trust were holding 40% of equity shares in the unlisted company, and the financial position of the unlisted company as on the date of merger is this. ठीक है, we have taken the 25 lakh of book value of the other asset other than the immovable property. For what about the immovable property? We have taken the 45 lakh. Okay, so let's go back, guys. ठीक है, we have taken that 25 lakh. We have taken the immovable property for this, so the amount is going to be 25 lakh, 45 lakh, 70%. What I told you, the trust was holding 40%, so we are only going to get that 40%, that is 28 lakh. Okay, so that is what? 28 lakh. Do we have any liability with us in this part? For only this part, I'm talking about this part. In this question there is liability, but for this part I'm talking about this part again. Okay. Okay, so do we have any liability? No, we are not going to take the reserve and surplus. We are not going to take the provision of taxation here. Okay, so for 17 CB there is no liability. Okay, so investment of trust is going to be 28 lakh, which is going to be 40% of as per rule 17 CB. Okay, this was the computation, fair market value computation for the investment in equity share of the unlisted. Okay, so this part is clear now. So we have 28 lakh. Okay, land and building, right? The amount is what? Yes. Second, SDV of fair market value. Please keep in mind. Okay, when it comes to question, we used to forget each and every point. Okay, so please remember these things. Okay, so we have 40 of what? Land and building, quoted shares and security 40, and 28 lakh was that equity shares in unlisted company 40%. 70 lakh of 40% is 28 lakh. Okay, so we have, let's do the calculation, guys. We have total asset of 108 lakh. Okay, this is 108 lakh. Okay, so let's go for the total liability now. So as I told you, in liability we have taken the liability in respect of shares, okay, which is 8 lakh, and for the bank liability again we have taken this 15 lakh. So what about the advance? No, we are not going to take this. Okay, so we have liability 23 lakh. Okay, so we have taken this part. We have now 85 lakh accreted income. 108 lakh was the fair market value of total asset, aggregate fair market value of total asset, right? And the total liability was of 23 lakh, right? So what is the difference? 85 lakh. In this 85 lakh, what is going to be that? 34.944%. Okay, which is 30% tax rate, 12% surcharge, and 4% is going to be HEC. So let's go for 34.944%, which would be 2970,240. 2970,240, right? So guys, this was the total liability of this trust. Okay, So don't get confusion. I'll tell you where we used to get confusion. ठीक है, we used to get confusion in this part. ठीक है, as this part is only saying that 40% the trust was holding 40% of unlisted share, unlisted company. ठीक है, so this part is differently calculated. Okay, and few things which I have written, let me go for it. As per section 115 TD, which is of accreted income, ना कौन कितना परसेंट टैक्स, कितना परसेंट टैक्स, कमेंट बिलो. ठीक है, द accreted income or GVB charitable trust registration under section 12AB which is marked with the corporate, hospital and entity not entitled for register under section 12AB would be chargeable at the rate of MMR, which is 34.944. मैंने बता दिया, it's okay, which is 30% plus, which is 30% tax, 12% surcharge, and cess is going to be 4%. So that's it guys, we have the answer. 85 lakh was the accreted income. In that 34.944% was the taxable tax liability, which is 29,7240, 29 lakh 7240. ठीक है, hope so you get my point. If it was useful, what you have to do, hit a like button, subscribe my channel and share this video to those who are doing CA, CMA final students. ठीक है, that's it. This is Hamya Santosh. Will come up with new chapter, to the revision. ठीक है, to the practice. Don't go for shortcut. शॉर्टकट से कुछ नहीं मिलता. ठीक है, तब तक के लिए